Recording has started. Commissioner, that is all yours.
Hi, everyone. Sorry. Someone's working next door. I think they took out my internet. At this time, I'd like to call the Illinois Liquor Control Commission to order. Let the record reflect that it's Wednesday, May 12th, 2021 at 1:13 p.m. As a preliminary matter, this is Cynthia Berg speaking. Before we get started, I would ask everyone joining us, please be patient and respectful as we navigate this meeting remotely. At this time, allow me to confirm that all members and persons anticipated on the agenda are present and can hear me. Members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Commissioner Melody Stan Cooper.
Present.
Commissioner Thomas Gibbons.
Present.
Commissioner Julietta Lamalfa.
Present.
Commissioner Donald O'Connell.
Present.
Commissioner Stephen Powell.
Present.
Commissioner Patricia Pulido Sanchez.
Present.
Thank you. Staff, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Dean Agiris, Commission Secretary.
Sorry, I was muted. Present.
Dean. Thank you, Dean. Ms. Lisa Mccloud.
Yes, present.
Thank you. Tom Schlenhart.
Present.
Rick Haymaker. Rick Haymaker.
Chair,
I
this
do
is
not
Tashanka
see
again. Rick is still trying to log in. He's still working on that, trying to get Rick Haymaker logged in. He's having some issues logging in.
Thank you, Tashanka.
Okay.
I'll just make note what the time he is available. Counselor Zizuk.
Present.
Jason Youngberg.
Present.
He can talk while I'm on his phone. Yay. Lavaris Jeffries.
Present.
Les Peterson.
Present.
Michelle Flagg.
Present.
Patrick Schoenberg. I may not be saying his name right. Schoenbeck. Are there any other staff members participating on the call?
Yes, this person is Dhankar.
Thank you. Good day, everyone, and I thank you in advance for your patience and cooperation through today's meeting, which is convening remotely via WebEx event. Governor Pritzker issued disaster proclamations for the entire state of Illinois regarding the COVID-19 pandemic. Normally, the Illinois Liquor Control Commission would hold regular meetings in the James R. Thompson Center in Chicago. However, on March 13, 2020, Governor Pritzker issued Executive Order 2020-04, reissued by Executive Order 2021-06, which closed the James R. Thompson Center to members of the public. This open meeting of the Illinois Liquor Control Commission is being conducted remotely and consistent with Public Act 101-0640 and Governor Pritzker's Executive Order 2021-09, which suspended the Open Meetings Act provisions relating to in-person attendance by members of a public body. The Open Meetings Act requires public bodies to allow for public comment according to the rules of the public body. This meeting will feature public comment. Members of the public interested in commenting at this meeting were asked to provide their comment in writing via email by 5 p.m. yesterday. Pursuant to Section 100.410F of the Administrative Rules governing the ILCC, those who wish to speak during public comment were asked to pre-register via email by 1 p.m. yesterday. Those individuals will be called upon and granted permission to speak during the public comment portion of this meeting. Those individuals who pre-registered to speak, please ensure that your information that you registered with matches your WebEx registration ID. Please note that this meeting is being recorded as well as transcribed by a court reporter, and that attendees are participating by web audio conference. The agenda for this meeting has been posted on the website. We recommend the members of the public follow the agenda as posted. Before turning to the item on the first agenda item, please allow me to cover some ground rules to ensure accurate meeting minutes and transcripts. I, Chair Berg, will introduce each speaker on the agenda. After they conclude their remarks, the Chair will go down the line of members, inviting each by name to provide any comment, questions, or motions. Please remember to mute your phone or computer when you are not speaking. Please remember to speak clearly and in a way that helps generate accurate minutes to assist the court reporter. For any response or comment on any item, please wait until the Chair yields the floor to you, and as always, state your name before speaking. If members wish to engage in conversation, please do so through the Chair, taking care to identify yourself. Finally, each vote taken in this meeting will be conducted by a roll call vote. Item number 1, Secretary Adjournment, please call the roll.
Chair Berg.
Here.
Commissioner Gibbons.
Present.
Commissioner Polito Sanchez.
Present.
Commissioner Span Cooper.
Present.
Commissioner LaMalfa.
Present.
Commissioner O'Connell.
Present.
And Commissioner Powell.
Present.
Thank you. Item number 2, do I have a motion for the approval of the minutes of the board meeting held April 21st, 2021?
Commissioner Gibbons.
Second, Commissioner Powell.
It's been properly moved and seconded. Thank you, Commissioners Gibbons and Powell. Secretary Adjournment, please call the roll.
Chair Berg.
Yes.
Commissioner Gibbons.
Yes.
Commissioner Polito Sanchez.
Yes.
Commissioner Span Cooper.
Yes.
Commissioner LaMalfa.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Connell.
Yes.
And Commissioner Powell.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries. Item number 3, welcome Executive Director Lisa Mccloud. Ms. Mccloud has accepted the position of Executive Director of the ILCC. She comes to us from the City of Chicago Department of Business Affairs and Consumer Protection, beginning in 2016 until now. She's also the owner and managing attorney, as well as certified mediator for the Mccloud Lakeside Law Group since 2011. Currently, she is an adjunct family law professor for paralegal studies at McCormick College, developing student curriculum on many levels, from the syllabus, assignments, class discussion, to the performance evaluations of the students based on deliverables and rubrics. Various positions held by Ms. Mccloud were at the John Marshall Law School as supervising attorney in the Family Law and Domestic Violence Clinic, as well as the associate attorney at Jeffrey Loving Limited. She has served on the boards of the Alpha Kappa Sorority Incorporated, the American Bar Association, and the nonprofit Angel by My Side. She is a graduate of Loyola University of Law School with an undergraduate degree from Southern Illinois University in Communications and Marketing. With that, I am proud to welcome distinguished candidate Ms. Mccloud to our team at the Illinois Liquor Control Commission.
Thank you, Chairman Berg. Thank you to the board. It's a pleasure to be here today. It's a pleasure to meet each and every one of you. I know I have not had an opportunity to individually meet you. However, I am looking forward to doing that in the ensuing weeks. I know that I honestly just took this position about a week ago. So that being said, I am going to defer to my Associate Director, Tom Schillenhart. He's going to be providing the Executive Director report for this month's meeting. However, I just wanted to have an opportunity to, one, thank you, and two, thank you for welcoming me to this commissioners meeting, and I look forward to reaching and meeting and working with each and every one of you.
Thank you very much and welcome. I have item number 4, received division reports. Is the executive session on here in a different format? I mean, the executive director, Tom Schlenhart, what is your item number?
Tom, you're muted, sir.
But it's just contained within item 3. You want me to just
Okay,
follow?
so we're ready
Correct.
for you now then.
Okay. Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, and welcome to Director Lisa Mccloud as well. It's been a pleasure working with her so far, and we're looking forward to continuing the positive growth that we've had with Commissioner Enya, and I know the staff is excited to carry on the good work we've been doing, and looking forward to working with her. Just wanted to touch base operationally. Since we last met, the Chicago office build out is going very smoothly. Still on target for an early June move-in date, and I emphasize move-in date and not actually officing at that time. Just we haven't decided exactly when staff will be going in yet, so that will depend on how things are going with the medications with COVID, and related to that, the bridge is starting this Friday, so hopefully we can get into phase 5 and start to get into the office sometime in July at some point. So everything's going well there. And then we have 3 new personnel that started this month, 3 supervisors on board, George Martinez and Matt Workman, which are internal hires. And then Osvaldo Valdez is an external hire. All of them are new supervisors, which makes 4 right now. And then we are looking to have 1 more in Cook County for a supervisor to be posted, hopefully in the next coming weeks. And then the new inspector trainees will be posted in the coming months after that. Then with the general counsel, we are still awaiting the decision from the governor's office. So once that decision has been made, we are ready to go with getting our new general counsel in place. And then on the IT side, I know Jason is currently vetting vendors for a possible Gentax replacement. This has been ongoing and it will continue through this year. It's going to be a long process to make sure that all divisions can work with a new program, and hopefully it can be smoother than what we're currently working with, and just be able to work in a more expeditious manner. That's all I have on the operational side. Did you want me to just give the COVID update as well?
That would be fine. Thank you.
Okay. As I mentioned, this Friday is the date when the state will begin going into the bridge. So we will have 28 days after that until we go into phase 5, if all goes positive in the sense that numbers do not go up at all. So we're hoping that that's the case, but mainly it's going to affect our in a positive way on Friday once we get to the bridge, where they can outdoor events can double their numbers for special events from 15 to 30 people per 1,000 square foot area, and then the restaurants and bars will be able to increase to 30% indoors and 50% outdoors. So those are the basic changes going into the bridge. Of course, phase 5, everything will be fully open. So we're hoping for that. That's all I have.
Thank you very much, Tom. We'll move on to receive the petition reports. Is there any board members have any questions or comments on this item, on any items Tom has discussed? Hearing that there are none, we will move on to receive division reports, starting with licensing. Dushanka Marianne.
If I can interrupt for 1 second, this is Jason Youngberg. I just wanted to notify that Richard Haymaker has joined the call.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman Burke. This is Dushanka Marian. I'm the licensing administrator for the State of Illinois Liquor Commission. I'd first like to welcome Director Mccloud to the ILCC. We look forward to working with you and your leadership. I just wanted to highlight a few items in reference to our liquor license figures for April 2021. We had issued 2,867 liquor licenses during the month of April. I do want to note that 245 new licenses were issued. This is a significant increase to last April 2020, where the closures, the early phases of all of the closures that we had. So that's a positive, definitely a positive number. We've had over a 100% increase compared to last April. So we do like to see that. That is some positive news for us. Also, we continue to have a large percentage of our licensees submit their applications online. 96% of our licensees have submitted their renewal applications and new applications electronically. Our Deputy Director Scheinhardt referenced the special event changes that will be occurring in reference to the bridge to phase 5. 30 people per 1,000 square feet, for example. We have issued 236 special events this calendar year, and we are preparing for an influx of special events that will be coming in the upcoming weeks. So we look forward to working with our licensees and being able to issue special event licenses in the near future. So we are excited about that. Generally, we issue over 4,000 special event liquor licenses in a calendar year. So we will see those, hopefully those numbers increase as well. I also wanted to provide an update regarding a system software update that we will be having, version 12 system upgrade. As Tom had mentioned, we are part of the Gentac system. We share this database with the Illinois Department of Revenue and a division of the Illinois Department of Employment Security. And there's a system version upgrade that is being implemented on September 7th. So from now until September 7th, the staff will be assisting with testing and making sure that we are ready for the system implementation. Now, I will provide updates as we have them, but there will be a great deal of resources allocated to the testing of the system upgrade. This concludes my licensing division report. Chair, Commissioners, Director, if you have any questions, I'm here to answer those.
Commissioner Gibbons.
Yes, Commissioner.
Yes, last meeting, Dushanka, I think you mentioned that you were guessing that 10 to 15% of our licensees would not renew, probably go out of business. With that number that you gave us of new licenses, do you think that is still going to hold?
I think what we are seeing with new licenses right now is if there is a business that has closed, there may be new ownership taking over. So that may be a part of the reason for the high number of new licenses being issued. So as far as businesses closing, doesn't necessarily mean that new businesses are not going to replace those that have closed. I can say this month, we had 70% of our licensees renew. We had 30% that are currently taking advantage of the license renewal extension. So, we are seeing a larger number of our licensees starting to renew that had, that needed that additional time to renew their licenses.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any more questions for Dushanka? Hearing that there are none, we'll move on to enforcement with Mr. Les Peterson. Les?
Thank you. Good afternoon, Commissioners. The Enforcement Division conducted 1,279 inspections and found 133 violations for April. Additionally, 87 warnings were issued during the new license inspections. Also for the month of April, the Enforcement Division received 51 complaints, which is a 16% decrease from the previous month. The complaints come in online, submissions, emails, phone calls, in person, and a lot of them do come in from routine inspections and complaint investigations. Of those complaints, 7 were related to potential Phase 4 violations. This accounts for a 40% decrease over the previous month. 0 Phase 4 violations or warnings were issued, which is, I think, a really good sign that we're coming back together here a little bit. Under underage compliance details, we're continuing to concentrate on cases concerning the sale and delivery of alcohol via online portals with no safeguards to prevent delivery to minors. We're averaging approximately 100 illegal online marketplace sales that we're shutting down, that our new exec one, which is Zoll, is handling. So we're still working with these online portals to try to make sure that the alcohol does not hit those kind of marketplaces. You also see the notable investigations, which we've included. And if there are any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. But if not, that's the end of the report.
Are there any questions for Mr. Peterson? Hearing that there are none, we will move on to industry education with Ms. Michelle Flagg.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. We had a successful Bassett Town Hall meeting during last month, during Alcohol Awareness Month, where we had 75 attendees. And some of the highlights were cocktails to go, curbside delivery. We also covered the J-card process so that attendees would know once a law updates to any laws go into effect, the process for any changes to Bassett rules and regulations. As mentioned earlier regarding regional mitigations, we should be moving to the bridge phase. So that's the phase prior to phase 5. And the ILCC's facts, we'll update those once guidance is issued from the IDPH and DCEO regarding capacity changes for bars, restaurants, and special events. And with regards to the State of Industry presentation schedule, today we'll hear from FAIR, the Federated Alliance of Independent Retailers, and I'll just go ahead with regards to diversity and inclusion. No new updates with regards to that. This month is Asian Pacific American Heritage Month. We currently don't have an event schedule, but we may still have a panel before the end of the month. So that's still in the works. And then September will be the remaining Heritage Month, which is Hispanic Heritage Month. And that concludes my the highlights of my report. And again, I'm ready for any questions that you may have.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you for picking up the diversity inclusion for us as well. Is there anybody that has a comment from the board for Michelle or a question about any of these items? Hearing that there are none, we will move on to legal with Counselor Zizuk.
Thank you. Again, this is Isaac for our legal division. Just go through some of the highlights of what legal has been up to over the last month. One of the major things we have done is we've drafted bill summaries for the various alcohol-related bills that are currently pending in the General Assembly. We've also, been, handling case dispositions. So during April, we were able to close out 78 cases. Significantly among that, of those cases, we conducted 32 pre-disciplinary conferences during April. This is we were able to handle most of these over the phone to successfully resolve a large number of cases that were outstanding. In terms of sale of alcohol to minor cases, we actually were able to clear out our backlog of outstanding sale of alcohol to minor cases, with the exception of the third-time offenders who would need to be scheduled for a hearing before the commission, which obviously has been delayed due to COVID. In terms of appeals, which obviously we'll discuss a little more later during the appeals portion of the commission meeting, we currently have 26 appeals that are pending. There were two hearings that were held last month, but we did not get the transcript back in time to submit it to the commission for deliberation for this month. So they will most likely be on the commission's agenda for next month for deliberation. We're continuing to respond to calls, inquiries, as they come in. Just a few points in terms of administrative review cases. Most of our cases that we have are currently pending. During April. There were 3 administrative review cases. One of those cases that as we did mention during the April meeting, was the Lake County Court reversed the decision of the commission, but all other cases are still pending in their process. And additionally, another case that the commission is involved in is a federal court case, is H's Bar LLC, in which the commission this is a COVID-related matter where the commission was named as a party, and the federal judge dismissed this case on April 27th as well. We're again continuing to handle all, providing the information and all the advisory opinions, as well as, we've been drafting various rules, recommendations, et cetera. Again, operational issues, as was mentioned before, the general counsel position is still vacant, but we are hoping to have a new general counsel soon. And I think that is still pending with HR and with the governor's office. So with that, if there are any other questions regarding what legal has been up to, I'm more than welcome to take them.
Does any board member have any questions or comments at this time for Counselor Avi Zuzuk? Okay, moving on, hearing that there are none. Item number 5 will receive the State of the Industry Report from Federal Alliance of Independent Retailers from Mr. Bill O'Donohue, who is the counselor for the Fair Alliance. Team, would you please put him through?
All right. Bill, you there?
I'm not seeing his name. Oh, William. There we go. My apologies.
Yeah.
Sir, you are now able to unmute yourself to speak.
There we go. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Great. Thank you. Good afternoon, commissioners and ILCC staff. As stated, my name is William O'Donohue. I want to thank you for the opportunity to speak about my client, the Federated Alliance of Illinois Independent Retailers, or FAIR, as it is commonly called. First of all, I'd like to welcome Ms. Mccloud to the position of Executive Director and to the world of statewide alcohol beverage regulation. certainly wish Ms. Mccloud nothing but the best. As an alumni of the ILCC, I can assure her that it is a great agency, staffed with many qualified and knowledgeable people. I did put that in writing in case anybody's curious, who will no doubt make her transition to the job very easy. Also, I look forward to meeting with you and bringing in my client to sit down and begin a dialogue with you regarding issues facing the independent liquor retailers in Illinois. So what is FAIR? FAIR was founded in September 2019 with a mission to advocate the interests of all independent liquor retailers in Illinois. The groundswell for the creation of the organization was created by a decision by the two largest wine and spirits distributors. Previous to 2019 and for over 40 years prior to that, independent retailers had been allowed to form cooperative purchasing groups. These groups would make large case purchases of alcoholic beverage products from wine and spirits distributors in order to receive a fair and competitive price. In the spring of 2019, both major distributors, who by the way controlled 90%, let me repeat that, the two largest distributors controlled 90% of the wholesale wine and spirit market in Illinois, announced that they would no longer recognize the cooperative purchasing groups. As you can imagine, this sent shivers through the independent liquor store universe. So the stores decided to form an association and fight for their rights. Currently, FAIR is composed of around 250 stores throughout Illinois and are united for a common purpose: to ensure that Illinois has a fair and equitable alcohol beverage market. The members of FAIR are small independent businesses, often family-owned and operated. And by independent, I mean FAIR members are not affiliated, owned, or operated by any large corporate chains. FAIR members are the corner store down the street, the anchor of a small strip mall in your neighborhood, the store that the Little Leagues, neighborhood churches, and fraternal organizations go to all the time for donations and support of their activities. In short, FAIR members are your neighbors. In a few minutes, you'll hear from two of the members of the board of directors, store owners Gene Angelopoulos and Dave Garfield, who will present you with a snapshot of life as it currently exists for a liquor store owner. However, before we get to them, I want to present some statistics regarding the important economic role independent stores play in the alcohol beverage market in Illinois. Prior to the spring of 2019 and the cancellation of the recognition of the cooperative groups by the distributors, there were two main cooperative purchasing groups. A total of 500 stores participated in these groups to make joint purchases of product from the wine and spirit distributors. As an aside, I should note that while nothing barred the groups from making such purchases from beer distributors, there really aren't that many that occur cooperative purchases through beer distributors, and that's just due to the nature of the wholesale beer market and how it operates. The 500 stores the 500 stores that were in the cooperative groups generated roughly annual gross retail sales of around $1 billion. Yeah, 500 stores generated $1 billion. That translated into over $65 million in sales taxes to state and local governments. Again, let me repeat that. Just those 500 stores alone generated $65 million in sales tax revenue for state and local governments. Additionally, it's important to keep in mind that these 500 stores employed at least 5,000 individuals. That's a lot of folks. Now, if you take the figures from those 500 stores and extrapolate it out to the full market, the numbers and the impact of independent retail stores is even more clear. Assuming, and these are rough numbers, assuming there are approximately 10,000 liquor stores in Illinois, the math is pretty simple. The gross retail sales of 10,000 liquor stores would be roughly $20 billion and would contribute $650 million in sales taxes while employing over 100,000 people. That is the statewide economic impact of liquor stores in Illinois. Clearly, the liquor store sector is one of the most important sectors of the alcohol beverage industry in Illinois. While my numbers are rough estimates, there can be no doubt that the alcohol beverage policies of this state, as the policies have been in the past, need to be designed to allow this sector of the economy to flourish, and the policies likewise should not let a few billion-dollar behemoths determine the fate of the independent liquor store owner. In order to return the market to a balanced, fair, and level playing field, FAIR, starting around 2 years ago, started fighting for the return of cooperative purchase groups. Again, these groups were legal and authorized by the ILCC for at least the past 40 years. However, due to a change in the law promulgated by the distributors, the legal authorization for these groups was canceled by the legislature. FAIR and the Illinois Retail Merchants Association, IRMA, of which FAIR is a member, have introduced Senate Bill 2130 into the legislature. Senate Bill 2130 would place in the Illinois Liquor Control Act permanently the right of alcohol beverage retailers to organize and operate as cooperative purchase groups. The bill is currently pending in the Illinois Senate, and every day FAIR members in IRMA are actively advocating for its passage by the Illinois legislature. Most, if not all, our members are sending emails to their state senators, their state reps, and making follow-up phone calls, because this is a very important initiative and really, concerns the survival of independent liquor stores. While we are confident that it will pass and become law, and our response from legislators has been overwhelmingly positive for the bill, we're not taking any chances, as you can imagine, the wine and spirits distributors are actively trying to derail the legislation. I want to take a moment to explain why cooperative purchase groups are so important to alcohol beverage retailers. I'm going to take the example of a premium vodka. I'm not going to use the brand name for the vodka because it's not really relevant, and I don't want it to be seen as if we're, making disparaging comments about the brand. But my example here is based on actual numbers of an actual product. Let's take the example of a single location independent store liquor retailer who wants to purchase a product. In order to purchase a product for their store as a single location without a cooperative purchasing group to operate within, that store must pay the highest case price offered by the wine and spirit distributor that carries the product. That's because a retailer may not have the room to purchase hundreds of cases of one product. It may only, in fact, have room to purchase, 5 cases or less. And keep in mind during this example that the retailer has nowhere else to go but to one of the 2 wine and spirits distributors in Illinois. And that's because those distributors have a monopoly on that vodka. There's no other distributor that can carry it except one. They set the price. They tell you what the price is. There's not very little, if any, negotiation. So in our example, let's say our store purchases 5 cases of the vodka, and the per bottle case wholesale price works out to be, $21 per bottle. So our store is paying $21 a bottle wholesale to carry the product. In order to make a profit on that bottle, it then has a retail price of around $25. Keep that in mind. Compare this with the large chains who the distributors allow, and because of their size, can take advantage of quantity discount programs. So for example, say there's a large chain with 50 stores, and that chain can purchase 1,000 cases of that vodka, and it can divide those cases between its 50 stores. Due to the size of the case size, the number of cases that the chain is purchasing, the distributor's price will most likely only be around $14 per bottle of the vodka. The large chain can then retail the vodka for $18, which results in a price that is $3 below the wholesale price that our independent retailer paid for the vodka. You can imagine how difficult that makes it for independent retailers that are either close, within a mile or 2 of a chain retailer, or even if they're the sole liquor retailer in a geographic area, it can cause issues. Due to one of the issues that we have seen is that, due to the pandemic, not due to the pandemic, but due to the lack of cooperative purchasing groups, some stores, because it had to raise their price because their price was increased, they had to pay a higher price to the distributor. Some stores have experienced customers who come in and accuse them of gouging prices and artificially raising the price. Some claim, some say, oh, you're doing it because of the pandemic, when in fact, it's because they cannot get a competitive price from the distributors due to the lack of cooperative purchasing groups anymore. If they had cooperative purchasing groups, the groups could avail themselves of that 1,000-case price from the distributor and compete better with those chains. Helps the consumers, it helps stabilize the market, and prevents the market from being dominated by large chains completely. The cooperative purchase groups, at the end of the day, allow the independent retailers to survive in the market and in many cases thrive. However, if cooperative purchase groups are not reinstated soon, there will be many independent retailers that will be forced to go out of business because their business will, their customers will go somewhere else. And there will be a rapid decline in the number of independent businesses. That's just not good for the state. It's not good for the alcohol beverage market, and it's not good for the many cities and towns that rely on their small independent retailers to provide alcohol beverage service for their residents. All right, let me close by stating the following. In the summer and fall of 2019, this commission, and we want to thank the commission for this, stated unequivocally in public that it was the policy of the commission that cooperative purchase groups should be made legal again. We first started doing it by rule. The legislators on JCAR decided they'd prefer if we did it via statute. So that's what we're doing. In order to help pass this important legislation, FAIR is asking that the commission restate and reiterate your strong support for cooperative purchasing groups by supporting the passage of Senate Bill 2130. Wish I could say your support would guarantee its passage, but the legislature, as you know, is quirky. But I can tell you this, your support will not hurt. Your support will only help, as it will indicate to legislators considering the bill that it is an important aspect of the alcohol beverage industry in Illinois to allow for cooperative purchasing groups. All right, now I want to, I'm a lawyer. I like to talk, but I've done enough talking. I'm going to turn it over to first Jean Angelopoulos, who will discuss her experiences as a woman starting out in the alcohol beverage industry 17 years ago by opening her own store in the suburbs. And then after Jean, you'll hear from Dave Garfield, who is a third-generation liquor retailer. And they will both share experiences about what the marketplace is now and how important cooperative groups are. And Dave in particular will also talk about another Senate bill regarding the transfer of product between stores. So, thank you. I can take questions now, or we can leave them till later. It's up to you.
Does anyone have any questions for Mr. O'Donoghue at this time?
So much a question. This is Commissioner O'Connell. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Sorry, Commissioner.
All right. I remember the commission meeting at which numerous independent retailers presented their problems with the elimination of cooperative agreements and the threat that this made to their livelihoods. And they were very almost emotional, the arguments, because this is a threat. And we voted at that time to support the reinstatement of cooperatives. I remember as acting chair at that time, I made the statement when we presented our conclusion that either the state should have discounts that everyone is able to get, or we should have no discounts for anyone. I think that's just a matter of fairness. And so I think my mind hasn't changed. I hope that the commission's mind hasn't changed, that we do support a form of the cooperative agreements. I think you've made a good argument for it, Bill, and look forward to hearing the other two presenters. Thank you, Madam Chair.
You're welcome. Anyone else? I think we will proceed with Ms. Angelopoulos.
Good afternoon. My name is Jean Angelopoulos, and I'd like to thank you guys for giving us an opportunity to discuss the current state of affairs for independent liquor retailers of Illinois. The majority of off-premise liquor license holders are like me. We are single store owners and often family operated with a few additional employees who typically become long-term employees and lifelong friends. Our stores are run by people, not boards, not by stockholders, and not by algorithms. We have regular customers that we have known for years, and we are constantly getting new ones as they move into our communities. We typically use the profits of our businesses to purchase a piece of the American dream, such as buying a home, funding our children's college funds, sponsoring and participating in community events, growing our do-it-yourself retirement portfolios, and hopefully one day leave a legacy behind for our families and our communities. Our presence in local communities is appreciated and important. This was greatly illustrated during the COVID-19 pandemic. As other businesses around us suspended their operations, independent liquor retail stores remained opened. We were deemed essential. We put up clear protective barriers at registers, constantly cleaned and sanitized cooler door handles, shelves, shopping carts, and wore PPE to protect us and our customers. In addition to the essential household inventory items that we carry for customer convenience, the liquor retailers expanded their inventory by bringing in hand sanitizers, face masks, and protective gloves during the peak of the pandemic to sell to our customers. The independent liquor retailers committed to providing uninterrupted, expanded, and safer service to their customers, and they exceeded in their commitment. Many consumers commented positively on how safe and respected they felt as they shopped at the less congested, local independent stores, and how easily they accessed our quicker curbside pickup services and home deliveries through our websites. Likewise, retailers felt very fortunate that they could be of service to their communities during this uncertain time. The pandemic also exacerbated challenges that were already inflicted upon us by the two major liquor distributors prior to the nationwide shutdown. As the pandemic persisted, independent retailers began to experience inventory shortages on many key brands. Liquor items began to be out of stock for weeks. At times, limited stock was only available, and other items were allocated to a few bottles for each store. Independent retailers would not have had such a hard time with this if our case one pricing was what it used to be prior to COVID, when cooperative buying groups were recognized by these two major. The distributors had offered us increased discounts from case one because of the buying group. A short time before COVID, the distributors stopped recognizing us as a cooperative buying group and stripped away our advantage from receiving case one enhanced discounts. Now we must purchase larger quantities to receive the same pricing we used to receive from case one. With the increase in cost on items, we were forced to raise our prices. It was very uncomfortable for me to do so, especially since price gouging was in the media at that time for other consumer items. Consumers do not know the background of our challenges with the two major liquor distributors and could therefore interpret our actions as independent retailers becoming opportunistic during a crisis. Furthermore, retailers have watched their inventory become unbalanced and more expensive. Unfortunately, we have never received case one price breaks nor case quantity deal adjustments from the distributors throughout the crisis and the inventory shortages. Distributors are artificially creating inflation and inflated pricing in the liquor market because of policy and not because of economics. Distributors can easily adjust their case one pricing for the thousands of independent retail liquor license holders and bring back cooperative buying opportunities for us and our customers, especially now. In addition, the most dramatic change was the distributors not recognizing cooperative groups and not allowing us to purchase quantity deals as a group. This put an inordinate amount of unfairness in our pricing structure. While other large chains in the market have been continually receiving these price benefits, it has put the independent retail stores at huge disadvantage in purchasing products at a competitive cost. The result is that I again have to raise my pricing in my store, having customers questioning the increase and resulting in lost customers and market share. We simply cannot compete without cooperative purchasing. 17 years ago, I started our family's independent liquor retail business from the ground up. I suppressed the feelings of isolation and insecurity that I experienced as a woman in a male-dominated industry and forged forward to open our doors to service the community of Wooddale, Illinois. I felt that it was very likely for me to succeed because of my work ethic, and I knew that the liquor industry included cooperative buying groups that I could join that would give me both an opportunity at competitive pricing and affordable marketing assistance to promote my small business, as well as an opportunity to come out of isolation and to network with other like-minded independent retailers. Going forward, I would like to come back next year in person without a mask on and report a different state of affairs. With the passing of Senate Bill 2130, independent liquor retailers of Illinois will be given back the right to participate in cooperative buying opportunities, therefore offering cooperative pricing to their customers. Our livelihood as independent liquor retailers will no longer be in question, but securely protected by this new law. And most importantly, our success or failure in the marketplace will be governed by our work and not by unfair regulatory system. Does anybody have any questions?
Thank you very much. Is there any questions for Ms. Angelopoulos at this time from the board?
It's Commissioner Span Cooper. Not necessarily a question, but thank you for sharing your story. I think we saw you before. I think you've been before us before, and I just want to commend you for you starting a business and doing so well and sharing so openly with us. You know how your place in this cooperative space. So thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else who wishes to comment or questions for Ms. Angelopoulos? I believe we have one more speaker to move forward with. Is it Mr. Garfunkel? Sorry, can't read my handwriting.
Garfield.
Garfield, thank you. I apologize.
Hello there. My name's Dave Garfield. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. I would first like to thank the Commission for allowing me the time to speak today. My name is David Garfield, and I represent Garfield's Beverage. We are a third-generation, family-owned and operated chain with 8 locations throughout Chicago and the northwest suburbs. Our chain was started in 1951 by my grandfather, Norman Garfield, and has been passed down through my father, Bruce Garfield, and now myself. We are proud to be here today and give you a glimpse of the trials and tribulations we have to fight on a daily basis. Trials and tribulations that my father and my grandfather never experienced. In today's market, the business is dominated by 2 major wholesalers that have 90% of the items available in the marketplace. They have taken this stance through their price and go-to-market strategies on how they want the Illinois market to be shaped through their pricing. They have taken the stance through their pricing and go-to-market strategies on how they want the Illinois market to be shaped in terms of retail outlets and pricing available to the consumer. Many years ago, Illinois operated like many other states where brands were distributed by multiple wholesalers in the state. In today's market, the distributors have an exclusivity on the brands that they sell. Therefore, the wholesalers currently have a monopoly on the brands while leaving retailers in Illinois with no choice or options on where to purchase these brands from. The effect this has to the consumer is detrimental, and the pricing and availability of the product is taken out of the retailer's hands and determined by billion-dollar corporations. We as independent retailers invest our profits, time, and energy to be able to compete with big box retailers and large corporations. Until a short while ago, independents stood a fighting chance in Illinois. We bought larger deals, we split up deals to meet our company's needs, and we had solid case one pricing options. In today's world, the picture is much different. The distributors have allocated more resources and pricing and service levels to the big box and large chains while leaving independents to fend for themselves. They have removed our case one pricing and adjusted volume purchasing to harm an independent retailer's ability to compete. But even with our ability to purchase large volume deals, new rules and terminology gets put into motion to keep the independent channel at a disadvantage. For a common ownership multi-store chain, we consistently are fighting the ability to acquire goods at the right price amongst our stores. Whether it is a large brand that has a 100-case deal that is not available for you to split up amongst your stores, or the smaller brand that has a 10-case deal that can only be sold at the price to one store location. The methodology and rationale behind the structures only benefit the larger corporations that have the privilege of selling alcohol in our state. Independents don't have the ability to split up certain deals, while larger corporate accounts do. For an independent retailer to compete on a singular brand, we might have to purchase 10 times the amount per store than the national chains. We see this on a daily basis with most brands that are available. The evolution of a brand in our industry results in line extensions, new products and categories, and emerging brands and cocktail trends. For the independent retailer, we thrive on the ability to be ahead of the curve with our customers by listening to what they want. New brands for us equal new opportunities. In today's market, for a multi-store chain like ours, we are forced to invest more into a product on a per-store basis than our competition. If the brand tops out at a 5-case deal, we must buy 5 cases per location to get the correct price at each store. Our competition is allowed the ability to buy 1 to 2 cases per store to get the products in at the correct pricing. The larger chains and stores benefit greatly from their size and number of stores. The follow-up to these situations is when we must rebuy inventory of a brand that has multiple extensions or varietals. We consistently fight to keep a consistent price to the consumer, but the structures that are presented handcuff our ability to do so. If we purchase a brand that has 5 items in the brand family at a 15-case level, and you run out of said brand or one of the varietals of a wine are out of stock, our only recourse is to rebuy at the 15-case level per location. With the number of products that are out of stock on a consistent basis during the pandemic, we have had to make the choice to walk away from a number of brands because we have no way to reacquire certain goods at a competitive price. Now, if there was a way, like in the past, for us to split up these multi-case deals or get deeper case one levels, independents would have a chance to keep a consistent price for the consumer and manage their inventory levels to compete with the corporate chains. We just simply do not have the same resources at our disposal from the distributors. The last point I would like to bring up is Senate Bill 1712. Senate Bill 1712 addresses the ability for a retailer to transfer product between stores. This bill gives a multi-store independent a fighting chance to compete with the national chains, and it will assist us in some of the issues we fight at the distributor today. If we commit to purchase a product, we should have the right to move excess inventory to where it is needed amongst our stores. The law today prohibits this. Without the ability to move a case between our stores, our interests are further pitted against that of the distributor's pricing strategies. We need to legally be able to move a product that we already own at another outlet if we are not going to be awarded the option to purchase it at the same acquisition price. Without this ability to transfer product between our stores, we are forced to carry unsold product which could be sold at another store, and ultimately we might have to reduce the price to move it out the door. Since the changes in 2019 that were made by the larger distributors, we have been in constant fight for what is best for the independent retailer in Illinois. Garfield's Beverage is not a member of a co-op group, but see the value in the presence of them in Illinois. That is one of the reasons that we joined FAIR when it came about. We saw the need for independent retailers to band together to get our voices heard. We as independents are in tune with the alcohol industry. We don't have the privilege of having high-paid full-time lobbying arms and consultants to push our agenda. It is up to us to speak out and be vocal for what is best for our industry and the Illinois consumer. Our only hope is to make a stand here at the Commission and hope that you see the struggles that we face daily. We are the mom and pops, the corner stores, family legacies that have been around to help Illinois celebrate life's occasions. When we commit to a case, that money isn't just a number on a spreadsheet. It is the dance lesson for our daughters or the jerseys for our kids' baseball team. A strong independent channel is vital to the success of our communities and the American dream. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Garfield. Does any board member have any questions or comments at this time? Hearing that there are no comments at this time or questions, we'll move on to public comment. Secretary Juris, were there any other public commenters that you need to unmute for us to talk, or is there anybody via email, in writing, or by telephone today?
No, Madam Chair, none today.
Okay. Moving on, item number 7, receive comments from the board. Commissioner Span Cooper?
I'm sorry, I have none.
Thank you. Commissioner Gibbons? Commissioner Gibbons, any comments? We'll come back to him. Commissioner LaMalfa, any questions or comments?
None from me, thank you.
Commissioner O'Connell?
Not at this time, thanks.
Commissioner Powell?
Not at this time, thank you, Madam Chair.
You're welcome. Commissioner Polito Sanchez?
Not at this moment, but I am reserving one for the executive session.
Okay. I would also just like to make my comments now that I'm very happy to have Ms. Mccloud joining us at this time. She's a great candidate. I was able to meet her on Monday. We had a great conversation moving forward with some of our goals for the ILCC. And welcome, Lisa. We're very happy to have you.
Thank you.
Item number 8. At this time, the commission will adjourn to executive session. This executive session is closed to the public. The commission is entering executive session for the purpose of discussing testimony and evidence presented during a hearing. This is authorized pursuant to Section 2C, Sections 1 and 4 of the Open Meetings Act. Members of the public will no longer be able to see or hear the meeting, although the meeting will not end. Upon conclusion of the executive session, the commission will return to the regular meeting, which is open to the public. Do I have such a motion?
So moved. This is Commissioner O'Connell.
Commissioner Powell seconds.
Thank you, gentlemen. It's been properly moved and seconded. Secretary Juris, please call the roll.
Chair Berg,
Yes.
Commissioner Gibbons. Commissioner Gibbons?
I'm currently not showing Commissioner Gibbons is with us on the call. He may have fallen off. I will see if I can get him back.
Yeah, in fact, he just messaged me saying he lost his connection.
Oh.
So, Commissioner Polito Sanchez,
Yes.
Commissioner Span Cooper,
Yes.
Commissioner LaMalfa,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Connell,
Yes.
and Commissioner Powell.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries. We are adjourned to executive session. Thank you, Jason. Secretary Jarrett, could you call a roll for our session being reinstated?
Chair Berg,
Here.
Commissioner Gibbons,
Here.
Commissioner Polito Sanchez,
Here.
Commissioner Span Cooper,
Here.
Commissioner LaMalfa,
Here.
Commissioner O'Connell,
Here.
and Commissioner Powell.
Here.
Thank you. In the matter of Cruzen versus West Peoria, 20 APP 13, do we have a motion to grant or deny a rehearing in the case?
I'll move to deny the rehearing in that case.
Thank you, Commissioner O'Connell. Do I have a second?
Commissioner Powell seconds.
Thank you, sir. It's been properly moved and seconded. Secretary Jarrett, please call the roll.
Chair Berg,
Yes.
Commissioner Polito Sanchez,
Yes.
Commissioner Span Cooper,
Yes.
Commissioner LaMalfa,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Connell, Commissioner O'Connell,
Yes.
and Commissioner Powell.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries. Thank you. Item number 10, adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting of the ILCC?
Commissioner Powell moves.
Commissioner Span Cooper seconds.
Thank you, Commissioner Powell and Span Cooper. Secretary Jarrett, could you please call the roll?
Chair Berg,
Yes.
Commissioner Gibbons,
Yes.
Commissioner Polito Sanchez,
Yes.
Commissioner Span Cooper,
Yes.
Commissioner LaMalfa,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Connell, and Commissioner Powell.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries. We're adjourned at 3:01 p.m. Thank you, everybody. Our next meeting is scheduled for Wednesday, June 16th, 2020, most likely via WebEx.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chairwoman.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.